Hey, what's up, everybody? This is General Chaos. I know it's been a little while since I've been on here. I'm not going to be really watching the chat because it throws me off. But we're talking about something that's it's been a little while. It's a serious subject. I'm starting to hear feedback. Do you listen to it over there? No? Throws me off. Yeah, we're talking about something that's it's been a little while. It's a serious subject. Give me 1 second. Do you listen to it over there? There we go. I think that's better. My apologies. I'm joined by Tretch.
Like Robo Gentle for a minute there.
The things that happen to go live, I would never think that it would, but it always does, just to let me know that there's something else running this. It ain't me. I'll just let Tretch introduce himself, and I'm glad to have him on finally. He's been making videos, been making some great videos, and you're gonna hear a little bit about a whole lot tonight. Hopefully it won't go no longer than an hour. I ain't gonna put a time limit on it, but when we feel like it's over, it'll be over with. So anyone that's here, thank you for joining. If no one's here, we're waiting for you to join, because the topic of tonight is, first and foremost, why I'm here is children. And there's some very, very, very bad things happening to our kids. And that's why Tretch is here as well. But I'll let you, Tretch, introduce yourself just a little bit and let everybody know who you are and where they can find you and what's going on.
I'm at Treacherous.
By the way.
I'm at Treacherous. Used to be at Terrace Renfro until that account was suspended. I just started making videos a couple weeks ago. Don't know what else to say.
This is, I've been on here. I got a few videos on here. I think this is Tretch's first time he's really doing it on video, and it's, for me, I still get nervous inside the belly. It's tough to get on here and talk about what I'm talking about, and I think Tretch can attest to this. We're introducing people to pedophilia, and not introducing in a way that we can come across as the bad guy. I've literally been called a pedophile before for trying to, put this stuff out here and show what's happening. Has this happened to you?
Of course. When I was posting the senators that were part of the creepy Joe Biden videos.
Yeah.
I found them. I'm not the one that brought them to our awareness, but I did study them, and a few of the other researchers helped me gather names up, and we was directly tweeting to these senators and asking them why they allowed their kids to be molested in front of a camera and in front of them. And of course, I was told I was disgusting,
right,
by somebody, and I said, those aren't my kids on stage, and I'm not the one touching them, so how could I be the disgusting one?
Yeah, it's almost so backwards to be, out here attempting to do it.
Google search creepy. I'm just telling everybody to Google search creepy Joe Biden videos. Just check them out, dude, and decide for yourself if you think any of that is appropriate. Because none of it was appropriate as far as I was concerned.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree 100%, man, and don't know how some of them sinners restrain themselves from, because what I seen with my eyeballs, it was disgusting.
Because greed and power, the greed and power, it overshadows that. It overshadows ethics, and they willingly gave their children up to be molested in front of the world to see, so that they could have those positions. That's the only thing I can come up with, because not a single senator ever emailed, messaged, or texted me back with any type of response.
So you yourself reached out to them, and what, through email?
Through Twitter, through their verified accounts on Twitter.
And you didn't hear nothing back?
Only people defending them and telling me that I was disgusting for bringing it up.
Yeah, it's almost like a it's almost like the crabs in the bucket scenario where, you know, we're all like crabs in a bucket, and you got these 12 crabs in the bucket, and each one of these crabs, they take their turn and they lift up to the top, and they can reach the top and they start pulling themselves up, and they get about the time they get up to the top, another crab, the crabs pull them down, and you can sit there and watch them go around this bucket. They'll all take their turn to try to get out of that bucket, and it's like the other crabs are pulling them down, you know, pulling them back. That's almost what it feels like.
Isn't that society though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Society is the bucket.
They pretend they're behind you and they pretend they're lifting you up to help you get to your next position, but then they're there to hold you back and keep you from actually achieving it.
I agree 100%, brother. I got a little script written down just to keep me sort of focused on because there's so much. There is so much. I literally, my experience with this whole thing started with Pizzagate. Now, Pizzagate is a word. Pizzagate is a word that the mainstream media has found a way to make it a bad word. And I'll still say it because that's where I was introduced to it at. And so there's a lot of that's what you too, Tretch. So it was.
Well, not to say that I'd been keeping up with the Corey Haim ordeal, and being a victim of child abuse myself, I'd always been, I guess, acutely aware and I guess looking for that kind of thing to be happening around me because it's something that I want to stop.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was about to say.
It's a great segue in. I want to also introduce, because you got your lovely wife right there, the doctor. She's also sitting in, so I just want to introduce her.
She's actually a nurse.
Not a doctor.
She's actually a nurse. I just call her the doctor. And so Jack,
she's our medical expertise.
Right. She is you know, she plays a big part in all of this as well. We're all sort of waking up to the truth. And the truth is such a big thing, and it's mixed in with so many lies that
that's
walking in this world, it seems upside down, you know. And Jack,
it was the beginning of Pizzagate, and I still use that term, and I know that, you know, everybody's quick to, oh, Pizzagate. Well, that by itself is fake or whatever. And yes, you're right. There's a lot of things about Comet Ping Pong and a lot of things about that particular instance that caught our attention that we can't really, there's no way to prove. I mean, we literally, you know, all we have is what clued us in or what brought us, what caught our attention. And those things had never been talked about. They'd never been explained to a point that where we could leave it alone. You know what I mean? So I never stopped using Pizzagate, and I probably won't ever.
I won't. Absolutely.
Even though I had been, you know, studying the Corey Haim and other people's experiences, the R. Kelly situation back many years ago, anything that had to do with a child and that came across on the news, it caught my attention. I wanted to see what was going on. Anytime a parent killed their child or anytime a child was coming missing, I wanted to see that the child was brought back home. You know what I mean? But when Pizzagate started, I believe it was one of the Pettibone twin sisters. They were talking on one of the major researchers' channels, and they said something about the emails and there being pedophilic stuff going on in the email.
Yeah.
And immediately, instead of just going to YouTube or just going to my, you know, the people that I followed as far as for you know, tinfoil hat type, you know, conspiracy shit, right, I actually went directly to WikiLeaks, and I started looking up keywords through the emails for myself, and also just doing a JPEG search, an image search on all the emails. And that very evening, within a few minutes, I was seeing things that dropped my jaw, that I'm looking at my wife and going, hey, look at this. Check this out. What the hell does having pizza for an hour mean? Who has pizza for a goddamn hour? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who calls their brother and says, go have pizza for an hour? You know what I mean? So, and when you take those particular emails, the handkerchief email, the Evie's crib documents where those women were definitely putting their children up for sale, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of misinformation involved in between
Absolutely.
too. And of course, and then those are the things that the trolls and the opposition use against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, it's introducing the thing that I've come to know and the thing that you've come to know as the truth, and that is our children are literally being raped, molested, and murdered sacrificially.
Right. And it's not a single group of people doing it. These are the heads of the Jews. These are the heads of the Satanists. These are the heads of the Illuminati. These are the heads of our government. These are the heads of our states. You know what I'm saying? The people running DHS, the people running CPS, the people that are supposedly looking for the missing kids. Try talking to the Center for Missing Exploited Children. They'll block your calls. They'll ignore your emails. They don't care. They're not there for the children. It's blatant.
Absolutely. I mean, what else do I really say to follow that up, brother? You hit it on the head, and there we are. Here we are. We sit a year later, me and you talking about the same thing we were talking about a year ago, and now
just about it. You know what I mean? Because there's been nothing, no actual investigation, no arrest. There's been nothing.
Right, and then I am starting to see it come out. And I think you can attest to this too, Tretch. Just the amount of people that have been hitting some of these threads on Twitter, just the new people that have been coming on there, you know, and it being out on mainstream media. I don't remember what outlet. It might have been on all of them. I don't really watch that anymore, but I know that it came out on mainstream media, and they were finally talking about it on like it was happening.
But that was because of the Weinstein scandal and all the actors and actresses that are coming out, speaking out finally about their experiences. And lo and behold, a lot of their experiences happened when they were kids. They happened when they were adolescents, they were minors, and it was a complete pedophilic crime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and the good thing about all of this is there's no more beating around the bush. There's no more, I know somebody who did this to me. There's actually names being dropped now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whatever small repercussions there are people are starting to feel repercussions for their actions.
And with that, like, let's talk about the what's his last name? Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
With that, did you see where he's at now?
He went overseas to a sexual deviance counseling place.
Yeah. And now this is, I think it's almost a test for them to do this, because, you know, if this is what we're going to allow to happen, if these individuals just fly and go live in a $2,000 a day because they have big money, go live in a $2,000 a day program that's supposed to help them. I can tell you the state prisons are full of programs that are supposed to be helping people, but they ain't doing none of that. And I doubt they're doing it right here, because they probably own that place.
And speaking of that, I mean, just speaking on those terms, I don't care what part of the country you live in. If you have a major intersection, there's a camera. There's a goddamn camera. All right. And if we can at least even give a tag number, a vehicle description, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me they don't know where these kids got taken to?
I know, brother.
It's a blatant lie, dude. They're not even looking at the cameras. The cameras are there to tax us. The cameras are there to track us, to see where we go, so they can direct market shit to us and eventually tax us for everywhere we go. It's not It's not there to solve who was wrong in an accident, and it's not there to protect anybody if they were assaulted or if they got molested or raped or shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do.
All this stuff is recorded. They can see this shit from their fucking. Sorry.
It's not there for our benefit. It's not there to benefit us.
Keep it PG. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, brother. You're good. We just this stuff has.
You know the technology they have available, and you see the technology they act like that they have available.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the technology that they allow us to have.
Right.
There's a 50-year difference between their technology and ours.
Probably higher, but yeah, it's ridiculous.
I can send you a ticket in the mail.
It's ridiculous, bro. And there we could really, I mean, we could literally sit here and keep naming subject after subject after subject of the nastiness that's going on in this world without stopping all night long.
Yeah, we could. We really could.
So much stuff there, you know, and so we'll bring it back, and it all really, as you see it, it all really interconnects. You know, it all connects to each other in a way that it's just mind blowing when one will only take the time and ask themselves the question, what is the truth? You know, what is the truth? And then you know, the truth ultimately you find it by looking inside, because this is a world full of deception that we live in, and they make it that way for a reason, and we're waking up to it. And
I feel like most of us, we know the truth. We really do. We know that the truth that is speaking in our head. We don't want to hear the truth if it's what it is. So that's when a lot of people, they go to talk to their friend, they go talk to their preacher, their priest. You know what I mean? They talk to their coworker and try to get advice because they're not comfortable with what the truth is.
Right.
And you as well as I do, a lot of the time, more often than not, the truth isn't what we want it to be.
No. We call Pamela real quick. Yeah, see if she wants to step on and say anything. If not, she said she needs 15 minutes from me.
Does she know how to get on?
No, I will show her how to get on. But, sorry about that. That's
You're all good.
I'm talking about Pamela. She is the one that actually started Save Our Children, and she's turning it. I'm telling you, the lady is working hours into the wee night, and she is such a beautiful soul. You know, I met her, and she introduced me, and then we became friends with. I'm not going to say too much about that, but there's a lot of things going on behind the behind closed doors, and a lot of them things are negative, and a lot of them things are not good things. They're very bad things that are happening, and there's a lot of good things that are happening. And I think Pamela is someone she's inspired me. Is a soul that everybody will soon to meet if they haven't met her yet. But I'm just going to see if she wants to come on. Until then, Tretch, would you like to introduce, you know, what we talked about and sort of, you know, set it up and yeah, it's all on you, brother.
On what we talked about, where?
What we talked about you know, earlier. You want to introduce, you know, what you're doing and what you're up to, or were you saving that for another time? Or
of course, I would like any and everybody to go and check out any and all of my videos that I've made, because I'm proud of all of them.
Absolutely.
The one I'm working on next, I really, I don't want to say anything on other than it. Like you said, since I started making videos, which has only been 2 weeks ago, you know, as far as making my own videos and producing them or whatever, they all tie together. They really do. And things that I've been posting about and discussing for the past year, and things that you've been posting about and discussing, everybody that has had a word to say anything about any of this shit, it all ties into the videos that I've made. And especially, you know, not especially, because each of them, you know, each of them have a lot of information that you may have already seen, but it definitely has information you haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I also I go back and watch each of them, and I still catch different things. So I welcome all critiques from everybody, even if they're not good ones, because I want to see what other people have caught. You know what I mean? Because especially with the last one that I just did, the Red Shoe Paradox.
Which is a great video, by the way. I would, me and Tretch watched it again the other day, and it's like, even though that we look at this stuff every day, because it's hard to pull away from. I haven't found a way to get away from this, you know, and so it's hard to pull away from. We watched a video the other day, and as long as we've been looking at it, there's still stuff it's new, because it won't show up until the person's ready to see it, you know. So
Right.
I would definitely recommend you go check out what was the name of it, the title of it, Tretch?
The Red Shoe Paradox.
Red Shoe Paradox. It's a great video. Thank you for that.
The thing about that video is, and I don't want to misrepresent myself in any way, because I'm not religious at all. I've had a thing against most modern, you know, religion and established religions because of the atrocities that occurred because of them, just because of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But while making that video and editing and re-editing and going back through and just there were parts in that video where I felt like I was being ministered to. There were parts of that video that I felt that I needed to be. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that I believe in Christianity in the literal sense and you know, everything that they say, but it definitely took it took the edge off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it well, because if you think about it, regardless of whether or not Jesus really lived in you know in the reality of his life, if that actually happened or if it's just a metaphor, which I like to believe it's more of a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of that, there is a significant amount of work going to just blaspheme him and make a mockery of him.
From who? From who? From
Everything that I in these videos.
Yeah.
Everything that we post about. It's all tied together, and it's all a mockery of Jesus. And I don't want to admit that. I don't want it to be that. You know what I mean? Because I don't necessarily believe the present day Bible that we read from is the one we need to be reading from and taking literal translation from. You know what I mean? So but while making that video, the Holy Spirit ministered to me, and I felt like the Holy Spirit was the one that made that video. And I've watched that video probably 8 or 9 times, and each time I watch it, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. I know, bro.
When I watch it, I feel like I don't know what information's about to come next. Like I'm not the one that did it.
Right.
It's insane. So
there's something you're following. There's something. And where is that coming from?
I haven't felt a closeness to God and felt like the Holy Spirit was in me like that since I was way, way younger.
Well, you also had an innocent mind helping you make it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's true. My son, who's 13, had a big hand in helping gather evidence.
Yeah.
And while he was gathering evidence and pictures and such, he was running to me like, "Wow, Dad, look how this is all tied together."
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that right there was almost like today they're breaking families up, and right here with you looking for truth, it's actually bringing your family together.
It has. You know, because not very long ago, we argued over Pizzagate. We argued over my research. We argued over the time I spent doing it.
Right.
Once I realized what was going on in society, and once I realized there was something to look into, I can't stop. And it was just like when 9/11 happened. It's the day that 9/11 happened. I was glued to the TV. I lost my job. I focused on the news, and I started making videos of loose change and Zeitgeist and passing them out at gas stations and driving all my friends and relatives crazy because I was telling them that we were being lied to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And so there was a brief period in between where I just calmed down and got back to normal life and just got back to not worrying about shit.
Yeah.
you know. And I actually even got to a point that I felt that it was okay for other people to be demonic. It was okay for other people to be Satanists. I actually, for a period after I left religion, it was okay for them to have those, to do what they wanted. I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I started just living my life that way. People do what they do. I'm not worried about that. I focused on myself and my family.
Yeah.
Once I heard there was something going on in those emails that had to do with kids, I had to stop and pay attention. And once I knew damn well there was enough for a big investigation, the biggest one of all time, you know, and it should be all over the news, and it never showed up. You know, other than to discredit it.
That's literally, I mean, that's literally, I mean, friggin' heartbreaking. You know, it finding out in November about this and hearing it from, and you know, I won't necessarily stop using Pizzagate either, because it's where I found this at. And after I found it, I come to find it. I know it's the truth, and there's no way to look away from it for me anymore. So I chose to get back on drugs. You know, I just didn't want to feel that pain, and that's my excuse. And then I had to choose to get off drugs, because me on drugs ain't gonna help these kids at all. You know, as I sit here and I'm numb, it ain't gonna help these kids. We're gonna have Pamela's gonna be joining us here, Tretch, and you know, she's gonna jump on for a second, and I want her to just do what she does, because she is out there and she is literally putting groups of people together in every state to make this happen. She's doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and she's a little old lady. They call her the lady the lady with pink glasses. She's a little young lady, and they call her the lady with pink glasses. So when she jumps on here, I'm just gonna give the floor to her, and I'll introduce you to her, because I think we're all gonna be working together sooner or later. We have to work together to make sure that this thing is no longer here, because. And I will be here and doing that till the end. I just don't, there's nothing else to do for me after the children. And when I say these children are being done the way they are, I'm talking about literally the very institutions that are created to protect them, child protective services, and all the various names that they have.
Yeah, no crap, dude. Challenge anybody to just start looking up statistics of the percentage of kids that get abused in the foster system. 75% of boys, and from what last I read, 99.9% of all girls get molested in the foster system. It's like all of them, dude. It's all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's what it's set up for. I think it's what I called it the other day, the child predatory services or something. It's almost like they've created a system to pull our children from us, and us not know, because we have our head in the sand, and then to find out and be called crazy because you're looking at it, and we're sitting here and literally talking about little kids. I don't mean children. I mean children as in weeks old. They're snatching these kids out of hospitals. It's ridiculous, man. And so that's why we're here. That's why we're here to do this. And you know, thank you, Tretch, for all you do. I know we've been hooked up on here for a while, on Twitter at least, and you know, and we've sat up some nights and just talked and posted stuff, and just it's almost like going through the journey and having someone there that's been there the whole time on the journey, especially the hardest journey that I've been on, because I'm being called crazy, and I know what's going on. So it's like, man, I just thank you, because it really inspires me.
The guy that told somebody that they would be flying in an airplane, oh, you're crazy, you know, or I'm going to be driving and have a motorized car, oh, you're crazy, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Crazy is only the beginning of something good, man. Crazy is the beginning of something different.
Absolutely.
And that's what's
with that
different as well.
Absolutely right, bro. I agree. Crazy is the new sane. And speaking of crazy being the new sane, we got Pamela just joined us. Pamela is the creator of Save Our Children, and she's doing phenomenal things. So without further ado, Pamela, thank you so much for all you do And please share a little bit about yourself and what it is your mission is.
Just on the fly, huh? Wow, I didn't.
On the fly here.
Okay, no makeup, pink glasses. Good evening from California, everybody. I used to be a nurse, therapist, counselor, whirlwind extraordinaire, a long spider, and changed my life. Mother, been married for 33 years now, to a fabulous man. That no way I become the person I am today without him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Watching Victorious Libertas, and Neil Wolf was on talking about Our Children Matter. Do you guys remember that in June? And I was just laying there. I had been down for almost 4 years, gut just going off, body killing me from this damn spider that bit me a while ago. And don't mind me, I'm making nice coffee.
Do your thing. You're awesome.
And something just spoke to me. You know, that voice in your head that you know darn well isn't your own voice. And it said, if I ask you to do this for me, will you do it? And I said, absolutely. My heart did, while my brain was trying to figure out, how does a woman who's stuck in bed, disabled and hurting, get any of this done?
Right.
The next thing I heard in my head before the logistics could even hit was, then stand up and do it.
Yeah.
So I stood up that day and put together the Save Our Children event, because I didn't like Our Children Matter. Of course, our children frickin' matter. My dogs matter.
Right.
The very first thing that came out of my mouth is our children need to be saved, not that they matter.
Right.
So
let me ask you, what was that? What did that voice say to you?
That very first voice was, if I ask you to do this for me. And my heart just leapt out of my chest with yes, yes, yes.
And what was
and
it?
That's pretty much
what was it? What
day
was it?
where I went, okay, I guess I'm going to get into this pedo anymore. It's just pedo sadist Disneyland paradise. You know, it doesn't even have a name anymore. It's so disgusting, other than a bunch of baby rapers out there playing God with lives. But then I found a lot of other abuses. You know, in that 4 years of a gift in my disease of being down, I was able to really consider myself an educated woman. But boy, you get on YouTube and you've done some rabbit holes and you realize you don't know shit about Shinola.
Absolutely.
Chemtrail, damn vaccines, to these sick ass pedo sadists. What else, babe? Say hi to Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark. That's my giant husband.
That's a big guy.
Right among
hey, I'm glad you're on our side, Mark. You're a big fella.
Yes. Just a little bit. I'm just normal size.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
He's just Mark.
Right.
So my husband and I watched, I forget what it was. It was one of the, I want to say it was Titus Frost's 3-part series on Pedogate, right? And I like the way he kind of got away from Comet Ping Pong and the Alefantis thing, really focusing on the entire elite and how they kind of use these children almost like poker chips, which is vomit worthy. Right. No matter how far you've gone down that rabbit hole or not, it's just vomit worthy on its own. Yeah. And my husband looked at me, and when Mark gets a serious look, he gets a serious look. And he looked at me and said, babe, how the hell can anybody know about this for even a minute and enjoy another moment of peace? Go play a game of golf, enjoy a funny fart movie, you know, toilet humor. How can you laugh at anything knowing this crap is going on? And as a man, it hit me hearing this going, you know what? Women can yammer the yammer, but guys need to do something.
Right.
So he and I started talking about, well, what's the solution to this? Because women can go out and protest and scream and bullhorn and bring all the awareness in the world, but what's the solution? Right. So from that moment on, we started walking Save Our Children with 6 different vantage points of exactly what that was going to be. And it's 6 points of the abuses that hit our children on a daily basis. And that could change between now and when I'm 180 years old and getting ready to finally cross over, if my work is done by then.
Hey, I'm like numbers.
And guys need to be action guys. So that's where the pedo hunt teams are going to come from, or what we like to call them, pig pedo hunting. I was using that one today a lot. And there needs to be a strong alpha male back in this world. Women have pretty much had a voice for 10 years. Okay, it's time for them to shut the hell up. Look at the mess we're in.
That's not no.
Knit hat. You know, get your vagina suit off, for God's sake. Take the things off. Shut up, sit down, and listen. Let the real men work their asses off. They're hated because they're white. God forbid if you believe in him or have a belief in where you come from as something greater than yourself and actually enjoy a beer every now and again. We need to take you all out back and flog you. Why? You know? So it's time for balance of male, female to come back into vote, because your voices aren't being heard and your action needs to be seen to help balance out this wild woman spoon of freaking estrogen that's going on.
Hey, I can tell what's going,
I have no idea.
what's going on here. What is going on around here? Stretch, what were you saying, bro?
I was agreeing with her.
Yeah,
the is the imbalance is everywhere. It's in the justice system. It's in everything. It's in the education system.
Now they're looking at
We all live in the United States. We are most likely to be imprisoned living in the United States than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And per capita, more people than anywhere else in the world. But
I can attest to that.
I believe you said it earlier, and a few people have said it before. The main agenda is depopulation. The main agenda is to take us out. That's why we got all the cancers. That's why we got shit getting sprayed in the air. That's why they're putting shit in our food, in all of our products.
Did you not see the new flu vaccination coming out?
No, Jackie, tell us that, because Jack is actually a nurse, and we have Pamela, who is also a nurse. So there's a
hey!
Yeah. So Jackie, tell us about that, the new flu vaccine that's coming out real quick. Let us know a little about.
There's an ingredient.
Valent? Is it the quadrivalent that they're going to put out, or the trivalent?
Oh.
Do you remember?
I don't know if it's the tri or the quad. It's an ingredient. One of them actually sterilizes.
Of course.
Yeah, I see that. And you know what? It's the increased thermosol, but they've also got a new product to try and hide the thermosol. It's it starts with S. It's Sire T. It almost reminds me of cyanolic acid is almost what it looks like, but it's not. It's thermosol and whatever this new cytotine whatever is. And the problem with this is, as a nurse, okay, we always shake up those
We do.
Say they don't make the individual MMR shots anymore, which is a lie. They each get them. My grandchildren get them because, by God, I make sure my daughter knows to get them. I don't need not child. Perfect. So it's the multi-dose vials that are about this big that carry about 15 of any given vaccine. It's usually the MMR, right? A lot of fat, lazy nurses will not shake that damn thing up. So the kids that get doses out of those vials are getting nothing but pure junk and a lot of mercury in their system. And autistic with it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, let's go to the third world countries and some of the poorer communities where they actually add shit. You know what I mean? Some of these vaccines have additives in them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
they really do.
Dead fetal cells. They're being grown right now in China and East Asia.
When hold on one second, guys. When
you could possibly.
Pamela, one second. When anyone talks, I just want to bring this to everyone's awareness, because I know this is sort of the first time for us to be on here like this together. And so when anyone talks, if someone else talks while they're talking, both of the people, you can't hear either one of them. So just be mindful that when someone's talking, that we don't get to talking over each other, because it makes it to where no one can hear anything. I just wanted to bring you guys to your awareness. That's all.
All right.
I apologize, Pamela. Please continue.
No, China and mostly because it's cheaper. We're finding everything from dead fuel cells, cadaver, dog, for God's sake, they'll grow it on anything.
Right. Right. It's like I said earlier, we could literally sit here and go over, we could one after one go over as many issues that we have. And I think it's a nonstop thing. I mean, I think it's literally we're being sold up the river. We are being sold up the river in a huge way. Our kids have been being sold up the river. This has been going on for before a lot of this has been going on for a long time, and it's really time to take a look at for anybody that's out there. If you're watching a TV, if you're I don't judge you for it. I just say this, that soon enough there will be no TV to watch because we're literally being wiped off the face of this earth. And America is right now the #1 target of this madness that's going on. But this is worldwide. This is happening. The numbers worldwide, last I checked, was 8 million. 8 million kids a year. How 8 million? I've never counted to 8 million. That's incredible. And this is a year. How many kids are born a year? 2 nurses. How many kids are born a year?
Yeah, 3% drop. So we're at less than. It's less than 12 million. It's like 11,300,000 something. Last I looked, and that was 2016 numbers.
That's just mind blowing. And the numbers that I'm using are from the National Centers for Missing and Exploited Children, which is not for our children.
No.
No, they're not.
Another system. It's
They
another.
were founded by Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Born, is that for what, 2017?
This is something that if we don't take a look at, people, that we do not go on. The children are our future, because if there is no children, there is no future. I know there's a lot of talk about this AI and transhumanism, and I can see it going that way if we don't hurry up and get off our butts, because literally our children are being eaten. They're being cooked and eaten. Good job. Thank you. And so it's just, I can talk about that all night, unfortunately, and it sucks to do it, but it's a conversation that has to be had. Pamela, will you just tell us a little bit of, because I know you put endless hours into SOC right now. You're there and you're working your tail off, and me and you talk every day, and what you're putting together, or this vision. I think it's really just carrying on another vision, and other visions come into it, but ultimately it's to save these children, to save our children. And so SOC, what is your vision for SOC, so that anyone out there that can help hold a vision for this will do so?
All right. Well, I definitely need the men to stand up. I want them to not only have a support system to one another, but they also need to be there for their communities again, so that everybody knows their community is now safe. The men are back on board. Men are large and in charge again. And back each other. Women have been separated out and put into these large groups. And if you don't go with this group, then we're not going to uphold you.
Right.
So the world. Okay. Not only are the kings at home, in making sure the kids and the wife are taken care of, but that their communities are safe. Start meeting the men in your neighborhood. Notice when that van that shouldn't be there. Mark calls them rape vans.
Yeah.
They don't have windows, right? And we need to start talking to one another. I'm not looking for Boy Scouts. I'm looking up there bleeding their knuckles every day while they're plumbing, HVACing, doing whatever. I know you're tired when you get home. They do that to you on purpose. Make sure you're reaching out and you start building yourself a network of guys, so that you know the children in your neighborhood, know where your school is, know what the routines are, so that you can protect you and your family. Bigger picture, I want 3 to 6 large civil rights suits in every single county in every single state of this nation. So we break the back of DHHS. Period. I will not accept anything less than a repeal and replace of the thing that we know today as CPS, family courts, and juvenile dependency courts. It's beyond corrupt.
Absolutely.
Correct. California made $200 billion last year off the backs of innocent children just through CPS.
How much?
200 billion.
200 billion.
Yeah. And it goes right into the general fund so they can spend it however they want. The next nicest building in any state, you go look at your Capitol and then go look at your HHS building. One of the nicest, if not nicer than the Capitol. That's because that's where the spigot of money comes in, right?
Yeah.
The next thing I want is to put pedos on notice. LGBT community, the alphabet soup community, you add a P to your name. Save Our Children is going to be all over your ass like white on rice. Period. End of story. Pedosadism, you're not born that way. I'm sorry. You are not. That's not a sexual choice. That is a mental illness deviancy. End of topic.
Right.
We will take our kids. We will be watching you. You should be 5150 if you're standing around watching kids, little girls and boys playing around a playground. We will zip tie your ass and go drop you off. Not a problem. Free of charge. We won't charge you a thing.
I love
Okay?
it. I
Free
love
of charge. Okay? Our legislation needs to reflect our communities and our values and standards. If they have a problem with Christianity, that's their problem.
Yeah.
It's time to bring those values back. You're allowed to pat your kid's butt if they're talking back to you. Don't beat your children. But you're most likely, spare the rod, spoil the child is exactly what we need to go back to. Our legislation needs to reflect our communities again, not their visions to be as serfs.
Well, I think that starts with our legislators actually being that part of, because they're so away from us. I don't even know the word I'm looking for. They're so, what is it?
Disconnected?
Yeah, disconnected. Thank you so much. They're so disconnected from reality, and also with that said, the people are disconnected from reality of what their legislators or what their senators or what their, whatever the case may be. Like, these people are here to serve us. This is their job. We're not here to make them millionaires.
Right.
And that's what's unfolding, and they're becoming millionaires off of friggin' trafficking kids. There's something that's really stinky with that, and I'll give my life for it, and it doesn't matter to me. Like, if we don't, there's nothing after kids. After they take away kids, there's nothing else left. So I'll fight until the kids are safe again. And I know that all four people that are here, all three people that are here with me, will do the same. They've made a commitment. You can hear it in Pamela, you hear it in Tretch, you hear it in Jackie. This stuff is happening, and if you say that it isn't, you're misinformed. You're misinformed, and you watch way too much mainstream media stuff, because they all work together. They're here to give you this story, and if you're buying it, then you're not for the kids. You're not for the kids. And even if you say you are, the story they're telling you is a lie. They're doing this to children. This is happening to children.
Well, and if they think that we're going to be satisfied with a Harvey Weinstein, okay, or a few stories of they are sorely mistaken. Okay, when you can order a child like you would fast food at a hotel, you know that society has taken not just a wrong turn, but a complete U-turn. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their damn graves. They feel like windmills. Go walk by Arlington. My God, the wind will hit you like, a tornado, for God's sake. We're so far left that all we can do anymore is go right.
Yeah, I agree. Tresh, you have anything to add with that, brother? I'm going to pull up a video real quick.
And I had, going along with putting the pedos on notice, are all these dudes on Twitter claiming they're MAPs, minor attracted people, and they're wanting special rights, and they're wanting support groups, and they want to be heard. You know what I mean? I'm going to let you be heard because I'm about to post all your shit on every one of my videos.
That's right.
Let the world see that they claim that because they are non-contact, that they also agree that children shouldn't be abused, and because they actually don't contact kids, that they can openly say that they're pedophile, and we should be okay with that. And if you look at what they're posting, and if you look at their pinned tweets, they're arguing to change the age of consent. They want to change the age of consent to feel better about the fact that they want to have sex with kids. Yeah. So if we say that that's okay and we allow these people to continue to do that, then we're allowing that line to be pushed closer to the point where we're actually questioning, well, when should kids be allowed to have sex with adults?
Yeah, I thought we determined that. I thought we determined an age for that. Didn't we determine an age for that?
It's called never.
That's age. You got to be a little older than never. So it's in depending on the state. I think 18 is the one that is in this state here. I believe it's 18. 16. You know, and even 18, I'm a 37-year-old guy. Even though 18 it seems a little young to me, but I also have a young daughter, so to me it should be like 27. You know what I mean? But it's something that definitely has to be talked about.
It is young. 16 is the age of consent here.
California, Pamela, what was Ghost just working on about that?
It was 18, and then Jerry Brown just signed in that awful bill that pretty much says it's perfectly fine to have sex with a child of any age. I don't know any 6-month-old that can verbalize consent, but supposedly the bill is written out to where if a child says yes, just yes, no game, that means it's fine to go ahead and rape that kid. It's not going to make it. It's getting weighted because of good people like you, because of Trey. We're making a big fuss about this simply because of the implications. He thinks he's a hero because he put in a bill that says that those who are sex trafficked won't be criminally charged. Well, gee, isn't he a peach? Isn't he a peach?
Yeah.
If you're being trafficked, why on earth did California ever bring them in as though they were prostitutions? If you're 5, 6, 7 years old, 9 to 12 years old, you know, I think Nick Mick has runaways as young as, what was it, babe? 6 months old. That's a crawl away, folks. That's not a runaway. That's a crawl away.
There's no way in hell a baby can run away.
How could that even It's insane. It's insane. So Jerry has come to a point where I think even tolerant Californians have said, no more. That's it. We have reached that red line. No more.
Right.
And it's almost poetic justice that Save Our Children is being born out of the capital of California, because there are more of me here than I'm finding anywhere else.
Yeah.
There are people picking up going, no, this is so far left. No, this is not who we are, people.
Yeah. It's
people, if a kid can't say their ABCs or their 1, 2, 3s, how can they decide a decision like that?
You don't even know what you're doing at 16.
They don't know. They don't know that feeling.
I mean, think back, guys. Do you remember? I mean, do you feel like you were emotionally and physically and at a point in your life where you really knew what you were doing when you first had sex?
30. No, I was 30.
No, I was 18.
I think I was 30, you know.
When you first had sex, really?
No, when I first, no, not when I first had sex. When I first realized, what'd you just say?
What? Yeah, right. What it meant?
I'm on your team, brother. Remember that. I'm on your.
What you're actually doing, what you're committing to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spiritual level. It's every aspect of life, and you're in the act of creating new life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Making love.
And
exactly. Yes.
Right. And a lot of people, they forget what it's supposed to mean and what it's supposed to mean and what it's supposed to lead to. It's supposed to lead to a long life of cherishing each other, learning each other, and helping each other grow.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And building something that you can be proud of.
Absolutely.
You know? And people just screw it off for Tinder. They screw it off for a quick attraction that doesn't mean shit, and you're not going to remember. You're not going to know their name. You're not going to remember anything about them. You know what I mean?
And why? That's the why. Our whole society pushes this stuff. Everything that we buy, everything that it's all interwoven in there. I think both of them can attest to. You know, a lot of this it's all hidden right in front of your face, and you just don't see it because you don't know what to look for. And we're telling you what to look for. So it's
in my video, I'm trying to remember the name off the top of my head. Finding Nemo's hair. Okay. It goes back. It discusses all this stuff and it wraps all this together. And also, in the one I just put out yesterday, the Red Shoe Paradox. All this stuff is in the system. Disney, Nickelodeon, all of them. You remember when we were kids and we would hear rumors, oh, there's something in, the Little Mermaid's, you would go look at the cover of the Little Mermaid, and there was all these weird stuff that they would add, the hanging munchkin and the little Wizard of Oz in the background.
Yeah.
All that stuff was placed there on purpose, and if you look at frequency, if you look at how fast our eyes can see, the hertz, we can only see like 12 frames per second or some shit, you know what I mean? And they're broadcasting and they're advertising at 2,000 to 3,000 frames per second.
Colors is another big thing.
Of course.
The eyes can only focus on certain colors, and all your Disney movies are brightly colored.
It's just we're constantly bombarded with it, and it's in the system.
Absolutely.
Nestle is one of the main contributors, dude. Nestle owns everything.
Including our water. Our water is usually sold to us by Nestle unless you got a...
Right, and Nestle's pumping it out of the United States American rainforest for pennies on not even pennies on the dollar. It's ridiculous, dude. They're paying like a $300 to $400 bill per year for siphoning water out of the national forest.
And then selling it back to us.
And selling it back to us for $2 to $4 a bottle, depending on which label they have. I'm hearing some reverb.
Yeah, I hear that too. I think it might have went away.
Like I was telling our friend Ryan, there's not going to be an end, y'all. There's not going to be an end to the struggle. Whenever we cut the head off the snake, there's another head of the snake that'll form. You know what I mean? We pick our targets and we knock those out, and there will be a hole for 2 more people to fill those shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I agree, Tretch.
Our mission.
Hey, I agree with. I mean, it definitely is. It's such a big and nasty thing that it seems like there is not going to be an end to it, and like we've talked about this numerous times, and I always got to hold that vision that it's a possibility and strive for that mark because doing this stuff and seeing this every day like this, I mean, it can literally. There's days that I didn't want to be here anymore, and I thought about doing it because at the end of the day, and if this is happening to children. Not if, but I'm talking like if I was in that time right there where I was thinking, like, this is happening to children and no one sees it. Like, no one sees it, and it's right in front of our faces. And if I'm not able to step up and start doing something about it, then how can I expect anyone else to? And so it's really about stepping up, and I think we're all learning going through this. I think Pamela dropped off there. But we're all learning going through this. This is a really new experience. I'm going to actually go live right now on there. This is a new experience for all of us, to finally realize that there is a nastiness and a darkness in this world, such as the one that's there. It's just mind blowing, and it can break. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, brother. And I got a couple things I just want to hit on real quick. And then I'll get to this video here. In 2007, the Georgia State Senator Nancy Schaefer which you're familiar with, Tretch, I'm sure, wrote the report, The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services, or CPS. And this Senator, Nancy, Ms. Schaefer, was killed. It was they say it was a murder-suicide. And this is a lady that just wrote something called The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services. Now, it wasn't long after that she ended up murder-suicided. Let's say what, babe? Her husband too. And her husband as well. He was the I don't know which way it supposedly went, but regardless, these were two individuals. When you listen to her speak, which I'll actually pull something up here, just a small clip of her speaking. And sorry, I moved that. I actually have periscopes going on here too. There's two people watching, so thank you guys for showing up. We're talking about Child Protective Services. We're talking about the nastiness that we have going on in the world right now that has to do with children. And I'm joined by Tretch here as well. And so the three people that are on periscopes, thank you. I apologize. There ain't going to be much. There ain't going to be much interaction for me right now. And it's just because I want to stay very focused on what I'm doing. And it's very challenging for me to do that sometimes when I'm looking at too many things. So thank you for joining. And I'll definitely come down there sometime and get a couple questions if you got some. Nancy Schaefer was a senator in Georgia. And her husband, after she wrote a bill, her and her husband were both, it was a murder-suicide. This is a senator. They were killed for what she was exposing. Neither one of them shot the other one and then killed themselves. They were killed for what they were exposing. And it's the same very thing that we're exposing right here in this moment. And that's what's happening to children. And at an unprecedented rate, it's almost child genocide is almost what's happening. Our kids are being used for things that Tretch, if you dig back in one of the things that because me and Tretch have been on Twitter together for a while, and one of the things that you have seen on Twitter that just sort of blew your mind, brother, that just you would think that there's no way, and then right now in this moment as you sit here, you come to know that this is the truth.
Remember, and this is outside, I mean, this is long after Pizzagate started. This is 3 or 4 months back. There was a little kid that had been, they found out the parents, the step parents, or what, I don't get me wrong, I can't remember if he was adopted or not, or if it was his actual parents, or what the parent situation was, but they were abusing him. And it was the kid they left outside in the pool all night long with his head just above water so he could barely breathe, and he was cold. Adrian.
It wasn't a pig thing?
Yeah.
Man.
He was, they was treating him like, an animal, and he ended up dying. And I was already sold on what was going on before, because take it, outside of my own abuse and what I grew up with, all the girls that I dated when I was early on before I met my wife, there wasn't a single girl that I ever remember having an intimate conversation with that was not abused in one way or another. Yeah. Okay. And I had been abused, and every girl I talked to had been abused. And I knew it was wrong. And I already knew it, at that point I knew, it wasn't a question of ethics and, whether or not that was right or wrong. I just felt that it was way more common than what people realized.
Almost normal. It was almost normalized.
It was more often than not.
Right.
Okay. And if I was to meet a girl who, wasn't molested, didn't have daddy issues or something, it was a rare case. That was, oh my God, she had the perfect childhood, or the storybook life or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah. All the girls I ever met and ever had an actual intimate conversation with, and I just felt like even the ones that I hadn't had those conversations with and gotten that deep with or whatever, that they probably had too. that they just didn't want to admit to it. And what it comes down to in society and in general, and the rock bottom problem, the reason why it's a problem is because we won't put our cousins, our uncles, our dads, you know what I mean? We're not going to put our relatives out in the street and tell everybody in our neighborhood what they're doing.
Right.
Okay. And until we do, then it'll stop.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is we won't dig deep and we won't out that's what's in our blood. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And there's not a family, there's not a business, there's not a religion, there's not a sect, a group of people that is not affected by this.
Absolutely, brother.
Not one.
Worldwide.
If you introduce me to a group of people that have never been molested or know someone's been molested, you're introducing me to a group of liars.
Yeah, at least know someone. I mean, if to be it, I myself had gone through an experience. It wasn't as, it definitely wasn't as nasty as what these kids. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, and regardless, it affected me in a way that I didn't find out till later on in my life that it was actually there was something wrong there. You know, I didn't realize that there was. I'm looking at too many things. I'm looking at screens and stuff. Let me just focus real quick. Like it wasn't, I didn't know there was anything wrong with it either until I was older. And then I realized it started playing havoc in my life, these memories of what happened when I was younger. And so mine was only a brief time. That's not to take away from it or give to it. And it definitely, now I consider it a blessing in my life. And it's only because I was able to go through the healing work that one has to go through to have it be that blessing, because now it's a blessing that I can give it back, to the world, because it no longer affects me in a negative way. I'm not attached to it in any way. So I think the whole world or anybody that, I think we're all going to heal from this. But it's definitely going to take us coming together and first and foremost acknowledging that this is an issue in our world. If we cannot do that, then we can't even take the next step. You know, and I think that's what we're here doing. I'm acknowledging, Tretch, you're acknowledging that this is an issue in our world, and it's probably it is the biggest issue in our world. Yes. Because either way, you know, we talked about population control and depopulation earlier, which I feel is very true. I think that you know, we've gotten too smart once again, and they call it extinction. They can call it many different things, but it's getting rid of most of the people. You know,
not to mention we're getting too smart, but our immune systems and our bodies are adapting and overcoming everything they're throwing at us. And
right.
That's what's throwing them for a loop. You know, we're fighting off the cancers. We're fighting off all the bacteria, all the bird flu, the pig flu, swine flu, all this freaking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, they're just going to keep bombarding us.
Yeah.
You know,
everywhere.
Like you earlier, you're right, man. This past few months, I've experienced issues with my sinuses that I've never had before, man. And up until in my, you know, early 30s, I never had sinus issues ever.
You hear that?
You know what I mean?
That's an AC 130. Dude, we got AC 130s flying over the house. It's
awesome.
They get loud, man. They get loud. It's every time. I didn't mean to cut you off, Tretch. Every time they fly over, I get a feeling in my stomach, because I know, man, these are machines of death and destruction that are going somewhere to kill somebody. You know, and it's like, shit, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to live in this. The land of the free and the home of the brave became the land of the fee and the home of the slave, man. I mean, we are literally, we're monetary slaves. They're breaking up families. They know both parents got to go to work, both work two jobs to, you know, demands of the society. And this system is no longer working for us. Any part of it, there's no part of it that's working for us at all. Children, Social Security, insurance, this, that, the other. And
let me say something, man. You're completely right. Families are breaking apart. I had posted, you know, when Pizzagate first broke, I had posted a few findings, and it wasn't anything like what I posted on Twitter, you know, as far as the graphic nature and as far as how many posts I made on it. But I definitely posted Pizzagate stuff on Facebook to my friends and family, people I grew up with, went to school with,
Yeah.
all that shit, right? And completely ignored. And there was a couple of posts where people asked me what was going on, what I meant, and I told them about it.
Yeah.
They either did not answer again, or they came back and they ridiculed me for believing it.
Right.
Okay. And so at that point, I turned off my Facebook, and I still have my Messenger on my phone, so everybody from Facebook can still get a hold of me, but not one person has messaged me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when my friends and my friends and real family come over, and I show them even the videos that I made and labored on and really trying to show people, dude, I'm not getting any feedback, dude. And this is my parents, this is my sister, you know, these are my real relatives, you know.
Yeah.
And all my friends, and there's only a couple of people that I know in real life that believe, you know, understand it at least, or deal with it. You know what I mean?
Right. And would you say when you that there is something behind the scenes with them that do you know from any of your firsthand experience with your family? Is there something behind the scenes? Is there a reason that they don't want to see that?
Because people don't want to know the truth. The truth hurts. The truth isn't comfortable. The truth isn't what you want it to be. The truth is what it is, right? And that's the problem. They want to just live life to what they understand it to be.
Right.
They don't want to be woke. They don't want to see things for what they really are.
And what is that? What is that they really are when we have, because we all have these perspectives. Me and your perspective, it really jived together, and that's how we come together. Somehow we called out to one another, and we answered the call to each other, because we've had many nights where we've been posting stuff and seeing some breaking news that's just mind blowing. That
right.
Every day it's happening. Like before, you'd get one of them a month or this a month, and then it seemed like every day was just the most breaking news that anybody I've ever seen.
Well, that's the thing, and my point I was trying to make. Adrian Jones case, and every case we see on TV, every time you open any type of news source, look a little bit into the paper, you're going to see that there's some kid being abused. Okay, so you take that reality and you put it over to what we're trying to say, and quit telling us that we're lying, and quit telling us that it's fake, and quit telling us kids aren't being abused, because it happens every damn day. Just look at the news.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to contribute it to what we're fighting for. They don't want to contribute it to what we're arguing for. They don't want to see that it's the same damn thing.
Right. Tretch, what'd you say that number was earlier? What'd you say that number was earlier of the kids from protective services? The amount of, didn't you say a number? A percentage?
The last I read, 75% of all boys are molested or assaulted while they're in child protective services, and 99.9% of girls.
Yeah. That brings me to,
I don't know how there could be a 0.01% of a girl, but at least that 0.01% of a girl is not being molested or assaulted while they're in child protective services.
Right. Absolutely, brother. It is a very, very sad state of affairs that's happening all around us. And like Brother Tretch said, you know, it's happening where you live. You know, it's happening where I live. This is not necessarily the old creeper in a trench coat that's showing his genitalia to, which actually happened to me when I was a friggin' little kid. But this is not that. You know, we're talking literally about the people that create the laws to protect the children are the very ones that are hurting them in some cases. And that's not to say that all of our government is a child molester, but if you know about it, if you're in government, you know about it. That's for damn sure. So
Absolutely.
if you know about it and you're not saying anything, that makes you just as bad as them. Just as bad as them. And it is.
And that's my problem, and that's my frustration. Is I know I'm not sitting here trying to say that everybody in my family is evil and they're in on it, and all my friends are in on it and evil. No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
There's something evil, though.
It frustrates me that they know that there's a possibility of it, and they're not looking into it as hard as I am.
Yeah. It gets very frustrating, bro. I can attest to that. It's to have someone dismiss it before they even look at it.
I don't even want to hear about that shit. If somebody, talk about trolls on Twitter, coming at you argumentative and dismissive and disrespectful. I can't believe somebody would believe that shit. Well, look into it and see why we would believe it before you laugh about it. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely,
brother. At least look at it, and then I think when you look at it, there's no way you can't see it because it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, it sticks out like we have a playground right up the hill from me. Right here, I can see it where I drink my coffee every morning, and I can listen. And when I go out there very peaceful. I'm just waking up. I'm getting my first cup of coffee in me, and I'm listening to these children playing. And I'm hearing these children. I'm hearing them screaming. It screams of joy. Screams of kids being kids, and it's like that's the world. That's the world that I'm working on right now. I believe that all kids have deserve the right to come here and have a shot at this thing. And this system that we're under doesn't give them that. It takes the shot away. And there's people that do care. There's people out there that are doing a lot of things, like Pamela, who was on here earlier with us, who's on here right now with me. Numerous people that are on here that were in the back rooms of these platforms that are not working, and this is in Hangouts, that are not working to let this get out. They're trying to keep this from getting out. Twitter, Facebook, you name it. All these things are set up by the same people, the same families, the same movement, I'll call it. And it's a very dark and it's a very satanic movement. And if you look around in the world today and you don't see that, you have to turn off your TV. That's the first step. You have to turn off your TV. That's not to say that you can't watch a movie every now and then. I'm just saying be responsible with it. Like, if you don't want death and murder in this world, don't sit and watch it all day long. Don't sit and watch that, because by sitting and watching it, we're promoting it. And not only that, but we're putting it back into the collective consciousness that is of all thoughts. There's all thoughts in this stuff. And this stuff is so big and so just mind-blowing that our little minds, even the smartest individual that has ever walked the face of this earth, their mind is little compared to how big this thing really is. And so you led me earlier. It was a great segue into the case I was going to talk about. At first, I want to first end with Senator Nancy Schaefer. I just want to say that this broadcast right here is for her. This broadcast is for her and anyone else who has lost their life attempting to expose this nastiness that sits right here in front of us, that steals from me my life, because I can't pull myself away from it. I've tried to drug myself out, and it doesn't work. I still come back and I look at it because it's happening. And until we as a people, I can understand, the system's trying to save itself right now, so it's doing a lot of little bitty things. And you know, who am I to say what? I'll mention this one time. I don't usually talk about politics in this, but it has a lot to do with it. And then I don't feel like it has, because politics are going to move to the side when it comes to the world that I think we're walking in. We don't need politics. We don't need politicians to make millionaires to decide our fate, because they're deciding it, and they're saying they're deciding it, and they're just shitting on us. You know, in it's a system. So any politician, I will say that politicians I've seen politicians go in with a great and a honorable intention to be an awesome person. This system doesn't allow that. It'll kill you, because it doesn't believe in that. It believes in death and destruction. And so that's what it's doing. We are literally eating, this thing is eating us alive.
Think about it though. When the Bible literally tells you, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
The Bible literally tells you that God gave Satan dominion over the earth. You know what I mean? That appeals to greed, dude. That appeals to the evil nature in man, who may not believe in the story or not care about eternity, but care about, you know, their stature, their power, and their wealth here on this earth. And
yes,
and those of us that are wise enough to understand that none of that matters. You know, you and me know that doesn't matter. Wealth and power and stature on this earth, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Only to the ego. Only to the ego it matters.
What matters is the truth, and the truth is they believe that Satan has dominion over the earth, so they're appealing to him.
Yeah, which you say the Bible said it, that he does, correct?
Even the Bible, yeah, even the Bible says it does.
Right.
You know.
And so I would like to say that me, you know, I'm not someone that walks in religion, and Tretch, I don't believe walks in religion. Really organized religion has killed more people than anything else on this earth. So I think that religion is being walked out of by humanity, and we're going to walk into spirituality, which is not. It's a word. It's a relationship. It's a relationship that each one of us has in our own way. And somehow we have to come together and start talking about this relationship. But it's not in church that we do this. This is in our backyards.
According to the Bible, anywhere three or more are gathered together in his name, then there he is as well.
Absolutely.
And I, you know,
hey,
I'm not
good stuff.
I'm not a translationist either, but I believe certain parts of it, you know.
What is it?
I believe in the ethical teachings, and you know the reasons behind the ethics in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
The literal translation, I'm not sure about.
Right. There's definitely there's room for us to interpretate, and rightfully so, because that's where the choice comes in. And then I give this to anybody who reads any of these religious texts that are put out there. You know, ultimately, look within inside of yourself, and it will reveal the truth to you. Right. You know, they've created a lot of these different religions to once again divide us, which has worked very well. I mean, they use it to depopulate, divide, and every other thing that we can think of. And so I ask everybody else, you know, what book you read, what ideas you follow, to just do this, to just take a look inside of your heart, because it's inside of that heart that it speaks the truth to us. And all one has to do is get past the mind, because the mind is a tool. It's a tool we use, and we use to decipher all of this which is going on. And ultimately, to me, the truth, the 100% absolute truth, is love. It's love. That's what it says. God is love. We are love. The essence of us is love. And so it's if we start to look at it and start to see the things that we have in common, and not the things to divide us, because they'll show us everything that there is to divide us. That's not an issue. You can look everywhere in the world and see that. let's start looking at the things we have in common and start building from there. And if we look at love, that's just a word. But if you look at the meaning of it, of love, and assign something, I've assigned to me that is me. So I'm in here, I'm in this meat bag, walking around this earth right now, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it's sometimes it doesn't feel figurable, you know. So ultimately, you know, to be that love is that's a commonality. I think we can find that in common if we'll only look, and that's only found inside. And so I ask everybody, you know, take a look around you. How does it feel to you where you live at? You know, do you watch the news? Do you watch TV? Start asking questions, like question everything. There's nothing that you shouldn't question. Question your religion, question everything, because it's in asking the questions that we can finally receive the answers, and the answers that don't come from TV. You can find one there, you can see one there, but it doesn't come from places like that. That's meant to keep us from knowing who we are. And when you go inside, you find out who you are. You learn you're not the mind, you're not the thoughts that are coming through. You're not the emotions that you may be feeling. I'm not. I'll speak in I terms. I'm not the thoughts. I realize that, and then I realize I'm not the emotions. Okay. And then I realized what I truly was. I'm the thing that's experiencing both in thoughts and both of them emotions. And so these thoughts are triggering these emotions inside of me. And it just so happens that most of my life was, there was a lot of hard lessons in there. And so often in my life, I had this fear, this sadness showing up, and I didn't know what it was from. It was from stuff that was written in a childhood. And I started to realize that everybody was dealing with this. You know, and then I started to question it, and it was like, man, I thought I knew everything when I was 16 years old, you know, and find out that everything that I knew when I was 16, that's not true. And then everything that I think I know now at every moment, it doesn't happen to be the truth, because the truth is right here with me. It's because I am the truth, and you are the truth. Tretch is the truth. Pamela's the truth. Everyone is the truth, and we're looking for ourselves. Only we're taught to look out in a world that in reality, it's looking in is where you find it. It's the only place you can find it. And so I think that's what me and Tretch are here for, is just asking you to please look at this, what's going on, and start asking them questions. I want to bring up a couple things about CPS quickly, and one of them is these school districts, you know, at least in Missouri, and I don't know if this is a nationwide thing. I know in Missouri, is it a nationwide thing? It's nationwide. So nationwide, because it's a federal program. School districts get paid a lot more money for homeless children than kids placed back with the family. So the amount that I last seen was it's somewhere upwards of $100,000 a year that these states are being paid by the federal government per kid. And then the foster parent, which, and this other thing that I'm friggin' reading here, because the foster parent, this guy got 180 girls come through Child Protective Services. Where was this at? New Mexico? Texas. It was in Texas. This guy, and I'll pull a picture of him up. 180. Will you pull that link up for me and just shoot me that link, and then I'll put it on there. 180 girls. 180 girls. And when you see this guy, like, I'm not a very judgmental guy, at least not negatively. I'm not here to judge. You know, we use judgments in our lives every day. And when I look at this guy, it's not, I'm making a judgment, and I'm going to say that I wouldn't let him walk my dog. I wouldn't let him walk my dog. And it's not a shot. It's not me taking a shot at him, because I would tell him this. I would tell him, no, you cannot walk my dog, because of the look on this, not his look, but his look, you know, that look inside of his eyes, like he's not there. He's not even there. This is someone that doesn't feel empathy. This is someone that doesn't feel these positive emotions, whether or not, what is it? Oh, okay, you sent it. I'm gonna post it right here if I can figure out how to do that, because I'm using my phone too. Can you? You want to do Messenger? Yeah, put it through there. My apologies.
You're okay.
Something like that right there, brother. It's mind blowing. And when these school districts, so what they're doing is they are creating homeless children because they get more money for them.
Right.
So they're literally creating homeless children. There's someone just put a photo. Sheriff, hey, thank you so much. Who is this? Aaron Ray. Aaron Ray, I got Aaron Ray that is on Periscopes right here. I got Periscopes running on my phone too, because I want to get this out to as many people as possible. And Aaron's the one person on here, and Aaron shared the story in Texas. And Aaron, I just want to thank you for that. That's awesome. And so you sort of see what's going on. I know Tretch you can't see this, but Aaron, thank you so much. And I think Tretch is saying the same thing because you're here, you're in this conversation, and just thank you for that, and thank you for posting that in there. No, I actually pulled the video up. Okay. Yeah. And so thank you, Aaron, for that. Yeah, absolutely. Aaron says thank you. So I know that that's to you as well, Tretch, because Tretch is in the trenches. Tretch is in the trenches every day looking at this thing. And thank you. I appreciate that, Aaron. Is there Aaron, do you have Google Hangouts? I'm going to see if Aaron wants to jump on here. If you're comfortable with it, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link, Aaron, and you're more than welcome to get on here.
Give me a second, man. I got to take a short break.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That's cool. Why don't you link up with me on here, and then are you on Twitter? I see you just joined again. Does it keep booting you? If you're on Twitter, Gentle Chaos or Gentle1111 Chaos. Cool. Are they here? Where are they at?
They're at Love's right now.
They're at Love's?
Right now.
Okay. I'm gonna finish this, so it'll probably be another 30 minutes. They're more than welcome to swing by here.
They're trying to stay on the road.
Okay. All right. My apologies. You're following Tretch. Cool. Send him DM Tretch, and then I'll know who you are, and we'll link up through there. And then if you want to get on, if you want to set up a Google Hangouts, brother, we're definitely. Are you I didn't see. Are you a brother? Are you a sister? Hey, there's the Marine. Look, the Marine just come in. What's up, Marine? What I was saying was, I don't know. I lost what I was saying. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for all you do. You being here, and the Marine also as well. He sees what's going on. He knows what's going on. This is a veteran that is in the United States that is being treated pretty poorly by the VA, and he's an intelligent guy. He sees what's going on. I would encourage anyone, I know on Periscopes you can post it right here, Marine, and you and Aaron can hook up because we're all seeing the same thing. Aaron Ray. Oh, absolutely, brother. The veterans in this country there is 600 a day. Nothing much. It's good to see you, Marine. There's 600 a day that are 600 a month that are dying. That's 26 a day, I think, Marine, ain't it? These are veterans. These are the people that the patriots, that we're told to support. And I know with the Marine, he don't get much support at all. And I've talked personally with the Marine on here. We've been on a couple hangouts together, and I think if we look around, we see 20 to 25 a day that are dying because of the malpractice or the mistreatment of them for a specific reason, and that is this. I'm not a fear guy. I don't want to put fear out there. I don't want you to ever feel fear from what I'm saying. And so, and I know you will, because what we're going through right now, our country's in a civil war right now. We're just seeing the beginnings of it. We're going to walk through something coming pretty soon that is it's very dark. It's very, very dark. And we have to walk through it. Like we as a species has to walk through it in order to heal. It's how we heal, is walking through this nastiness. And I think Maureen and Aaron and Tretch, I think you guys can all attest to that, man, that what we're walking in, when you're having a very society that you're attempting to expose the nastiness of the society, and that society, then in turn, the members of that society begin to dog you out because of what your ideas are. These are all ideas that we just have, and a lot of these ideas are truth, and a lot of these ideas they're false. It's a false narrative. It's the days of deception, that we're walking through. And so it's tough, man. It's tough. It's very challenging. And I just want to thank all three of you guys that are on here, and Jackie there, for everything you guys do, man. It's just it's an honor to be able to sit here and not necessarily talk about what we're talking about, but because we're here and we're in the discussion, I think we have our hat in the circle, and we're saying, let's go. We got to do something here. And what is that something? Ultimately, the people will decide what that something is. The people are either going to decide that, unconsciously or consciously, they're going to decide that they no longer want to be a species no more, and they'll just go extinct. Or we will decide as a people that we want to continue on. And I think continuing on is what we do. And we just have to walk through a lot of nasty stuff in order to rid ourselves of it. And is it possible? I can't remove the possibilities of anything anymore. With all that I've seen, it's anything's possible to me. But it definitely doesn't feel like it on days. And that's where it comes in to have people to talk about this with, which I have a great supporting cast in my life. I got not only my internet family, but my family here. It definitely helps to talk about it because it's some heavy stuff, and so here, this is what we're doing. We're just starting a conversation, or not really starting it. We're continuing it. And, me and Tretch see things, and now you two on Periscope, the Marine and Aaron, we see things sort of similar, and I know there's probably differences in there as well. And that's always going to be until it ain't, and I think talking about it is the first thing that's got to happen. And now it's the talk phase is almost done for certain people, and it's action time. And then there's a new group that's coming in that's going to go into the talk phase. And when that new group goes into the talk phase, guess what? They have someone in front of them that's going through the action phase. And I think we're going to build from that. I think we have to. If we want to move on, we have to build from that. And I'll just ask Tretch if you have anything to add to that. And then I'm going to go over a couple things on my list I have, and then anything you got, bro.
Earlier when you said we were going live, I just assumed we were going to talk live on Hangouts. I didn't know we were actually going to do something.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually prepare any notes for tonight, but next time I'll definitely come more prepared and more aware of what we're trying to achieve here. I should be releasing my next video soon, and there's several of my videos to find on YouTube. My name is Terris Renfro on YouTube. It's TerrisRenfro on YouTube.
Absolutely. Can you post that? Let's see. I would have to post that to YouTube. Well, I'll have that together for next time. I was just thinking of how we could.
That's why I was saying if I had known we was doing something like this, I would have come more prepared. I thought we were just gonna talk.
I think you are the note, though. What you've been looking at for the past year, I think is prepared you well for what we're walking into. But I know exactly what you're saying, because when you get in front of this, it's tough. It's tough to come in front of of how many knows how many people are watching this and how many people will see this. It's tough to come in front of people and talk about this darkness. I mean, you would agree, Tretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I dealt with my issues quite a long time ago, long before this shit started. I prefer to focus on the information, focus on the issues, and try to push along.
Absolutely.
I don't expect us to win any major war, but I do expect to get some wins and losses in the meantime. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you're a big support, and there's several other researchers that are a big support group for me and my wife, and we just, you know, take it day by day, man. We do the best we can.
Absolutely, it's such a big and dark thing that I think day by day is about, and even just second by second sometimes, because it's in the heat of this thing. It can be, it felt like I went crazy, like I went insane, and then I walked through insane and became sane again.
I'm not sure if I made it back to sanity or not yet.
So you're still stuck in insanity, I know, bro. And then some days it feels like that as well. So it's like, and I think Aaron and the Marine can probably attest to that. So school districts getting this money for creating homeless children, you know, it's CPS. It's just such a wicked thing, man. It's put together to protect our children, and they're the predators. They're like, they see, and anyone can get their child. If you go on and search YouTube for CPS taking children, it'll blow you away, because they're taking everybody's children. This ain't only the poor people. They're taking rich people. It doesn't matter who you are.
It's a profitable industry.
They will, absolutely. It is a very.
I tweeted that earlier. They said that and as somebody new, I just started commenting on the tweets, but made a lot of comments since I ran across them. They said the same thing. DHS and CPS. I don't know where I was going with this.
No, I can't help you.
It's mind-boggling. What is that? What is them two separate DHS and CPS? Like them two separate entities. What are they doing? And why are they not one? Why is every state called something different?
You're right. It's a profitable industry. That's what I was trying to get at. If anybody realized how profitable a person is just as a sellable object, if you just realized how profitable you are just to sell your organs on the black market, just to do the smallest, you know what I'm saying, outside of Pizzagate, outside of pedophilia, outside of it being a sexual thing at all, it doesn't have to be a sexual thing. Down to human embryo, Planned Parenthood has been selling, you know, I don't know where you went.
I'm right here, brother. I'm right here. I had something.
They've been selling stem cells overseas for years now, you know, and if you have the money, you can go over there and get stem cell treatment for whatever your ailment is. You know what I mean? And where do you think they get that from? You know, there's been leaked videos of the DHS ladies selling that stuff and making bargains and deals over drinks and cigars. You know what I mean? Let's be honest about it, you know? There's so much evidence that it couldn't be fake. You know, there's so much evidence that it couldn't be made up. Pegasus Museum has the ability and the freedom to ship living art with no inspection, with no postage fees, with nothing, with no questions, no answers, nothing, no X-ray equipment, nothing.
Right.
Pegasus Museum can ship anything, and guess who owns Pegasus Museum?
Who's that?
James Alefantis, the guy who owns Comic Ping Pong and why Pizzagate is real. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Let's think about it, dude. Why do they want Pegasus on the conversation? They don't want it in a video. They don't want us talking about it. Pegasus is a museum that's closed off to the public.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's where the kids was written on the wall. The kids, right?
It's where the kill room is.
I know. Stretch, I want to remind you, I'm on your team, bro.
Right.
I'm trying to spread awareness to whoever's listening right now.
I'm definitely with you. I looked at this stuff, bro.
Why it's real. This is why we know it's real. You know.
Well, one of many reasons we know it's real.
Yeah, it's a piece of the puzzle. You know, we're damn near got the puzzle finished.
And it's a nasty puzzle at the end of the day. What's going on? Okay.
They just really want to meet you.
Oh, okay. This is I'm gonna go over a couple things. I'm gonna jump off here because a friend of mine's family, they're driving a truck over the road, and they actually just got into town, and so I'm gonna go up there and say I'm gonna meet them for the first time, and so it's pretty cool because they have to do with they have a lot to do with what we're talking about now and ending it, and so they're a great connection for us, and so I'm gonna go up there and meet them. I really wanted to hit on a few things, and one of the most important things I think is just a video that I'm going to play real quick, and then I'll just say a couple words after the video, and then we'll let you chew on what it is we just gave to you, because if you're watching this and you don't believe in it, I just ask you this. I say, don't believe what we're saying to you. Ask the questions yourself. Ask the questions. Get on the internet and look at it. I'll tell you, and Tretch will tell you as well. There's a lot of deception. There's a lot of lies out there, lots of them. And there's truth. And there's many little truths. There's ultimately one truth, and it's love. And if you look inside, you can see that that's what you are. And then when you see that, you see that that's what everybody else is, at least the human beings. That's for another story. But so I'm just going to play this video real quick. And to set it up, this was a video that was made for all my anonymous brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for everything you do. Definitely a huge part of the puzzle. It was anonymous that got me through it for a little while. I didn't want to show my face on here. I didn't want to. They're cool. Okay. I didn't want to come on here and tell you my name was Dave Henry and I live in St. Louis. Because I was scared to death of what would happen to me, because we live in a place you don't speak truths. You only tell lies. If you tell the truth, they don't want you here. And so that got me through some time that I was dealing with some of this stuff. To be able to have that masked was a beautiful thing for me for a little while. And I definitely honor and appreciate all the brothers and sisters out there that are still doing the thing and see the truth and or keep walking people into the truth or attempting to. And honor and respect everything that you're doing. And then to say also, when it comes to anonymous, look inside yourself and you'll see the truth, because not all anonymous is what they say it is. There's a lot of that stuff is used for their agendas. And so open your heart and listen with that heart when you look at some of the stuff that brothers and sisters be putting out there, and it'll speak to you. It'll tell you what the truth is. So I'm just going to real quick share this video. This video was done, it was done July 2nd of 2014. And let me take this out of here. Sorry if that's loud. Oh, shit. Volume ain't too good either. So this is a case, I guess it was in Missouri here. And it's just on Child Protective Services, really. Let's speed it up here to play this.
Greetings, citizens of the Lake of the Ozarks. We are anonymous. In recent months, a disturbing pattern of lawless behavior has been displayed by those elected to positions of power at the lake. This behavior isn't restricted to one office or one branch of government. It is a cancer of the body politic that has transformed the Lake of the Ozarks from a tourist destination to a tyrannical police state led by authoritarians who regularly abuse their position. This overreach will not be tolerated. Government officials like Chris Franken, Dwight Franklin, Roland Todd, Charles McElroy, Bev Thomas, Brian Keaty, Aaron Copen, and other officials who abandon the public trust and instead use these positions to further their own agendas have shown the citizens of the Lake of the Ozarks that tyranny is the new status quo. We will not abandon the citizens of the Lake of the Ozarks. We will not allow the criminal behavior of commissioners, sheriffs, judges, or attorneys to go unpunished. Those who think they are above the law, those who believe they are beyond the reach of justice will soon learn the truth is a virus and its spread will not be stopped. The crimes committed against the citizens of the Lake of the Ozarks will no longer go unchallenged or unpunished. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
And the reason I bring that video up, the gentleman who created this, at least the channel it was dropped on, is Paul Ellison. And the guy who created this, he's no longer with us. He committed suicide, or was suicided, because he was bringing truth. He was bringing truth about what was going on. So for all the anonymous brothers and sisters out there, thank you for everything you do. The ones that are, really walking in this truth and seeing it, as it is, because it's a very blurry thing to see. But Paul Ellison gave his life to the cause of saving children. He's seen the nastiness that was going on in the state of Missouri. It's in the state that I live. This nastiness that was going on, and he decided to speak up about it. And the powers that be didn't like that. And it was considered a suicide, and I'll tell you that he didn't kill himself. With everything that I got, I can tell you that he didn't kill himself. He was killed, and he was killed because he was bringing a message to the world, and that message was, hey, look around you, because your kids are being done wrong, and they're being done wrong by the very people that say they're going to protect them. That's not all politicians. I'm not saying that it's all politicians. I think it's very much wrapped up in our politics, because over time it's ended up that way, and many politicians are crooked as can be and are scared to death because they've done this stuff. It's a dark, dark thing that we're walking into. And what happened with Paul Ellison, which I encourage everyone to look him up, because his website is still up. It's Guerrilla Radio is the radio show that he would do, and it was on YouTube. Paul Ellison, and he chose to not be anonymous no more. He chose to put this out there, and he chose to say what his name was, and because he chose that, they chose him to not be here no more. And I'll tell you, for whoever you are, that Paul Ellison will work through me and everybody else that speaks truth until we end you, until you're no longer here. And I know you can hear me and you're listening to me. I know that you can watch me and you can listen to me anytime you want to, and that's all right. I'm not hiding no more. I'm coming straight at you. And you're going to have to do the same thing you did to Paul to me. And I think there's hundreds of thousands of me that are out there. And it's all coming together right now. And I will say this, your day of reckoning is soon to come to an end. And it's much bigger than you can even imagine. So for you out there that choose to consciously be in this for your livelihood, and you think that you can leech off of the people, that you have for so long, it ends soon. It ends soon. And I thank Paul Ellison for giving his life to attempt to save children, because they are systematically being taken away from us by Child Protective Services, by DHS, by all the numerous names they go by, and they don't have one central database that keeps track of them. And there's a reason for that, because they don't want you to keep track of them, because they're taking them. And I'll keep saying this until I can't say it no more. Y'all, you got to wake up. You got to get off the TVs, and you got to start looking at this thing, because you were children at one time. You know, there's still a child inside of you. It just might not feel like it. Oh, hi, Bernadette. How you doing? One of my friends from Periscopes. Tretch, I'll just let you, just share whatever you want to share, and I'm gonna jump off here after that, man. I just want to thank you for having the courage, and I know it's a painful road to get to this friggin' place, but here we are, brother. Here we are, and I think we're here to stay and until we go, whenever that is. But I think you, just like me, have chosen to make sure that we rid the world of this, and thank you for everything you do, Tretch. Tretch has videos that he puts out. He gave the name of his channel. I apologize because I don't have it. I'll just let you give that again. And I highly recommend, especially the last one with the red shoes, the red shoe paradox, because it's a very eye-opening thing that he puts together. I got a phone call there. It's a very eye-opening thing that he puts together, and I'll just let you speak about that a little bit, Tretch, and then say any final words or anything you have left to say, brother.
There's the Red Shoe Paradox. There's the Awakening. There's Finding Nemo's Hair. The God's Honest Truth.
What's the channel? What's your channel called?
My channel is my name. My name is Terris Renfro. It's TerrisRenfro.
Awesome.
And I'll be producing more videos and, sharing more stuff. I think the only thing I want to just say is to watch both of our videos, share our posts, and look into the content that both of us put out, because we're trying to shed some light into the darkness here.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Not only our videos, like look at everybody's videos.
Yes, all the researchers.
Absolutely.
There's so many good people that are active and involved. There's just so many. There's too many to just bring up. But if you check out any of my videos and look at any of the links, I linked all my sources, and all of my sources are people that I look up to, and I love your work. Anything that I post of any of the researchers is only to shed light, and it's only to bring awareness and point people to their channels, because there's people that are bigger than me and better than me that are hard at this just as well.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's not about Dave. It's about the kids.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
Absolutely, brother. And I think that's a commonality right there. We have, okay, this is about children. Ultimately, it's about children. And so it doesn't, if you don't like me, or you don't like Tretch, or just and something we say, or so, then go check out someone else. Like, I'm not here to hurt no one's feelings. And if it takes people's feelings getting hurt for people to turn and look at what's happening to kids, then so be it. Then I'll hurt feelings. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to separate or divide. I'm here to bring people together. And Tretch is here to do the same thing, and we're just tretching through this as the best we can. It's some pretty mucky water. I've hit you twice tonight, Tretch.
Twice.
These are mucky waters we're walking through, and we're just holding each other's hands, and we're each a piece of this puzzle, and this puzzle is, it's almost like it's blank. You know, this puzzle is blank. So here we are putting each other together. It's us coming together as the puzzle, and it's a blank puzzle. So to go blank, we got to start letting go of some of these ideas we have. I'll just say very quickly, you know, as far as these beliefs, these things called beliefs, you know, beliefs are meant to be busted down and kicked through. You know, it's only, beliefs are ideas. If you hold on to one strongly, hold on to it. If it leads you in the direction of taking someone else's life over, you know, the idea of what this thing called God is, I might second guess what I'm looking at, because that ain't what God is. God's about life.
Right.
God is about life. You know, ultimately God is love. And so God is life. You know, God is a word. You know, these are all labels we're using. And so, like, we're going through some nasty stuff, and just really encourage people to, you know, as much negative as you may look at, also look at the positive side of things, because there's a lot of good stuff happening out there. And so look at that. And that's for researchers that have been researching for 20 years. You know, if you started a Twitter, start another Twitter, start one you're going to be looking and posting the negative stuff on, and then start one in post you're going to be posting the positive stuff on. And that way it starts to bring balance, because I think Tretch can attest, when you look at this stuff all day long, it's like, holy moly, you know.
It can bring you down.
It can really bog you down. And to I guess the biggest thing is really you looking at the positive stuff, because that's where the balance comes in, not just you posting it, but you're offering, now you're offering up the positive side to what you're offering. So you're balancing yourself out, and it helps to balance out the whole. And so I just encourage everyone to don't only look at the negative in life. You know, there's a lot of positive things out there. SOC, which is Save Our Children, which is an organization that there's out of California, which is looking for to be in every state. Pamela, that was on here earlier with us, she shared a little bit. She's an awesome lady. She's an awesome young lady. The lady in pink glasses, you know, she's got a heart the size of a Mack truck, and she's ready to drive that thing over some stuff, you know, over some pedophiles is what she'd say to you. So I'll just say it like that. Like, if you were doing stuff to kids, I would fear this lady. I would fear this lady, because she's coming for you, and I have her back, and Tretch has her back, and everyone else that has the children's back has her back. And this ain't about money. This is about ending this stuff. This is about ending this stuff. Ultimately, I think money will end too one day, because it's what drives a lot of this nastiness.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Paul Ellison, thank you for all you've done to this day. You will live through me in every video I do, every post that I post that is geared towards saving children. I post that in the name of Paul Ellison every time.
All right, man.
Every time.
I'll show you how to end the conversation.
Show me, brother.
I love you, dude.
Hey,
I love everybody that loves anybody. And, you know, we're all here for the kids. We're here to make the world a better place. And we're gonna try harder tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Brother, thank you.
That's all there is to it.
All right, Tretch. Thanks for joining, brother. Thank you, doctor. Bye, guys. It's awesome to come together with people. You know, Tretch was somebody that, you know, he was there in some of my darkest nights. And so I just thank him for being on here, and that everybody down here in Periscopes, all the 2 people that are joining me on here, thank you for joining. Bernadette, I seen you were down there, and I'm not sure if Aaron's still with us, but you know, this is pretty important, guys. This is talking about the children and saving our future, literally. And so I just want to thank you for joining the conversation, and encourage you to, you know, start the conversation as much as you can, because it needs to be talked about. We have to acknowledge this nastiness that sits in front of us in order to walk. We have to walk through it. We can't walk around this. There's no way to do it. And so walk through it we will. So I thank all of you. SOC, I would encourage, I want to finish with what SOC is real quick. And it's an organization started by beautiful Pamela, who was on here with us earlier tonight. I encourage you to not only reshare this or share this, but watch it if you haven't seen the whole thing, because there were some great points that were hit on, and there's a very valid conversation that has to be had. And I think we're being duped in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of this stuff that's going on around us, Las Vegas, many of the other things. I will say that I feel that people were killed in Las Vegas, and I also feel that it was set up in a way that to take guns from us. And until we can live in a world without guns, don't give up your guns. It can only end up bad from there. If you are in our government and you have been voted in to see us into a new day, do your job. Do your job. Because I think we're coming for your job. Because you're getting rich off of us, and that no longer will happen anymore. And I know inside of my heart that what I do, I live in full integrity. With everything that I say, I don't have to back it up. I ask you to do your homework, and it will back itself up. The world you think you live in is not the world you live in, unless you see you living in a very dark, very evil world. Evil meaning anything that can do something to a child, and period. Anybody that can do something to a child, like molest them. Yeah. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. And whether or not it can be fixed, it's another topic. If this has happened to you, this was not your fault. It is not something that you brought upon yourself. You were taken advantage of. And you are a beautiful, beautiful being. And you're a very powerful being. And I would just say to you this: the power is being able to walk through this in order to heal. Sometimes we need, not sometimes, almost 100% of the time, we need others that are around us in order for us to heal. We need each other, because we all are really from the same source of things. We can call it many different things, but when it boils down to it, it's love. Love is what you're made of. Love is what I'm made of. Love is God. Love is source. Love, it's all love. And love is a word that is almost a bad word in this world nowadays. So I'll end this with, I'm just gonna take a moment of silence. I'm gonna sit for a minute, and whoever the second, I think someone else just jumped on Periscope. Thank you for joining us. I encourage you to go back and look at it, and please share this if you feel called. I'm just going to end with a moment of silence, and this moment of silence is for all these children and all the individuals that see the truth and are being called many things every day, bad things, the very thing they're exposing, being called pedophiles for exposing pedophilia. That's how backwards the world is. So if this has happened to you, you are not to blame for this. This is something that has showed up in your life, and it can make you stronger if you choose, or it can drag you down. I understand both ways. You know, it was done to me, and it was time for me to look inside. There was so much pain that I didn't even care for living anymore, you know. But I think it, like Tretch hit on earlier, it touches every, it's interwoven into the very fabric of our society. And so it touches everybody. And I say my hat's in the circle, y'all. I'm ready to do something. And so SOC, Save Our Children, is a group that Pamela started, and it's, you know, I think we're in 17 states now, and before it's said and done, be in literally every neighborhood in every country in the whole world, because it's us that's being affected by this. And so, you know, the biggest thing right now is just putting it together. We need people that are willing to say, you know what, I've had enough of this. And I encourage you to reach out. You can reach out to me on Twitter at gentle111111. That's 4 ones chaos, all one word. Or SOC. The website's, it's going up. It's a nationwide thing, so it's much bigger than I've ever done before. And I know Pamela's looking for. I mean, we're looking for people in every state, because ultimately it's all of us that we're either going to do something about this or we're not going to do anything about this, and we'll continue to dig ourselves further and further in this cesspool of nastiness, man. That's just all around us. And there's beauty all around us too. There's flowers, you know, you can smell the flowers. There's actually flowers that you can smell outside. And I encourage everyone to stop and smell them every once in a while, because there is the positive that is happening. You know, the light workers, which Periscope knows, you know, light workers are, you know, I've seen that phrase spit around a lot of times. Like, you are a light worker, no matter who you are, you're a light worker. Unless you're not, and then you're a worker for the dark, and then sometimes they switch back to the light, and it's friggin' crazy. I think ultimately, you know, when it boils down to it is, without children, we don't go on. We cannot continue without children. And I just say that, you know, open your heart, open your mind, start doing some meditation. You know, meditation's a great tool. I'll just throw that in very quickly. There's tons of meditation videos on the web. Get on there. Meditation is for everybody. So if you say it ain't for you, you know, that's the thing that's working inside you. Meditation's for everybody. It's just a word. It's a practice. It's not linked to any religion. It's just you finding out that you're not your mind, and you got to watch it to find that out. So I encourage everybody to do that. Now I'm just going to take this moment of silence. I'll probably take a minute and just sit here, and I'm just going to hold my heart open for the children that are going through this, and for everyone that's going through this, that we're going to make it through this, because just because we're going to make it through it. I can't see it any other way. So I just thank everybody who's here, everybody who's in the conversation. I've been talking a lot, so my mouth's dry and I'm out of water. So let's take that moment of silence. It's some heavy stuff. So just know there's people out there that know it's truth, and that it's time that we finally do something. If not you, then who? You know, if not now, then when? When do we do it? If not now? We're talking about kids here. We're talking about the future. And so I just encourage everyone to open your heart and go look at this stuff. You know, it's right there. And they're hiding it as fast as they can, but they can't hide the truth. The truth is, it's what sets us free. It's us, you know. And so ultimately, the children are why I'm here. I don't care to be famous. I don't care to get paid any type of money to speak this thing that I'm speaking. My reward is in seeing a child safe, you know. So ultimately, that's what it goes back to. I encourage everyone to look up SOC, or Save Our Children. General 1111 chaos on Twitter. I just post what I know as the truth. Are we going up there? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna jump off here now. Periscopes, everybody that's on here now, thank you so much. Please share this with all your friends and your family. And if your friends or family that are watching this now and someone shared it with you, thank them, because they're bringing something to you that I know is very tough for them to bring. And it's the truth as they know it now. So, you know, we're all in this together. Let's join hands and let's walk with each other. And much love to all of you. And thank you so much for being here and walking in this with me. So have a great rest of your night. bow, bow, bow.